Hello to all of you amazing web slingers. Welcome to Livin on the Edge, the podcast all about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. My name is Alec. I'm one of your hosts. You can follow me at @_the_smart_Alec on Twitter.
And I'm Brian. You can follow me at RedOReviews on Twitter.
If you want to follow our podcast on Twitter, you can go to @LOTE_podcast. If you want to follow On Comics Ground on Twitter, you can go to @OnComicsGround. And if you go to our website, we post daily reviews, news, editorials, and all that jazz. So, Brian, how are you doing tonight?
Persona 5 has taken over my life.
That's me with Doom right now.
I for like the past couple of years, every time I see like a Persona 5 thing on Twitter, I just kind of go, oh, that's okay, I guess. But with Royal, which just came out in America a couple weeks ago, I decided to try it out, and I understand it now. I get it.
Did you see that video I sent you of the comedian Ron Funches doing a bit about... If you guys haven't seen this, it's the funniest thing ever, and it's like the most legitimate thing ever, where he's like, there's a huge difference. Like, this comedian's name is Ron Funches. He's really fun. I don't know if Funches is the correct way to pronounce his last name, but you'll find him. But he does this bit about Japanese video games versus American games, where he's like, American video games are like, hey, shoot this zombie, or hey, shoot this Nazi, or hey, shoot this zombie that used to be a Nazi.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Japanese video games are like, hey, you're a high school student and you've just been accused of a crime you did not commit. They made you go to prison for 2 years, and now you got to go to a new high school. And a girl jumped off the roof of a building. Welcome to the tutorial of this game.
Yeah, that's
literally so accurate in how
that is the first like couple of hours of Persona 5 where this poor girl tries to kill herself because the gym teacher's an abusive piece of shit. It's rough, man. The first boss is literally a child rapist. What the fuck?
Oh God. I need to play Persona 5 at some point. All I know is that
you do. It's fun. Get Royal if you can, because that has extra shit that's not in the main one.
As soon as I can buy Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, I'll buy Persona 5 Royal.
Right.
If anybody listening is willing to make a humble donation to yours truly, I will link my PayPal below. I won't. But
I mail it to this mailbox.
I am just stripped for money because the coronavirus, and also apparently I'm like, our part of the generation is not going to get stimulus checks because we're dependents who are between the ages of 18 and 24, and there's literally no other reason other than that, and I don't get it.
Yeah, we don't need them. We're dependent. That doesn't mean we're dependent. Wait.
Oh, okay. So that means you're going to give more money to our parents so they can help support us, right? Nope.
Nah.
We're literally going through college and trying to start up our lives. We need support. Nope. Fuck you.
Yep. I don't know. Stuck here till August at least. So
apparently. Hold on, there's crime. Oh, sorry. Shh. Wonder where they're going. I don't know. Sorry, everybody. But, apparently some people in Congress are trying to adjust the bill so we'll be included in the stimulus checks. But I don't know.
Right now, it's not looking great.
Yeah. And I've turned in a 2018 tax return. That should make me viable for one, but just because I'm a dependent who is an adult, I don't know.
I don't understand how the economy works. I don't.
Honestly, neither do the people in government.
Yeah, money is fake. Just steal. Be gay, do crimes.
Are you talking about that one comic?
Okay, except those crimes. Don't do those.
Yeah. Don't steal when it can harm working class employees who are trying to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, don't steal from retail stores. Just steal from the CEO's office.
Break into Norman Osborn's office, steal the files from Oscorp, and boom.
And now you have the cure for the fucking devil's breath.
I was thinking the Spider-Man movie game, but you brought it into a more relevant light. So
I did
something. Oh shit!
Whoa, what happened?
Someone, some biker dude, I guess, drove by.
I heard the motorcycle and I thought like he crashed or something.
Oh god!
What you were reacting to?
No, I can't see shit out my window. So I mean, I whatever goes on out there, I just see no evil, hear no evil. I hear all the evil, but I see no evil. But yeah, we said it before, but it's crazy how similar this situation is to Spider-Man PS4. It's really
getting there.
I mean, New York being the epicenter of it.
Man, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
When do the criminals start building fortresses out of boxes?
When does Rikers Island explode, and when does Harvey Weinstein start walking down 46?
Well, he's busy in prison right now, so I think we're... Oh, wait, shit.
He's busy with the coronavirus right now, so...
Yeah.
Which, good.
Yeah.
But, anyway. So, we have some news to talk about. This is going to be like another two-parter, we'll say, but we'll keep a secret on what the second part is until...
Yeah, we won't bring that one up, don't worry. We'll save that for next episode.
I don't trust you saying that, because you bring it up every chance you get.
I will save it this time.
Okay.
Trust me, everyone at home who knows me, you know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't
worry.
We'll
save it for right now. Although it could change if Venom 2 decides to drop a trailer with strawberry blonde Woody Harrelson.
Hopefully there will be visual effects in this one.
It'll just say V2.
Because they can't use the spider, so they just got to use a giant V.
2 Ven 2 I made this tweet a month or so ago, where it's like different titles for Venom sequels. It's like the first one's Venom, second one is 2 Ven 2 third one is Venom New York Drift, fourth one is the Venom, 5 is Ven 5, 6 is Venom 6, 7 is 7. 8 is the fate of the and 9 is V9.
Well, V9 is a superhero drug, so
Velocity 9. Velocity 9.
Exactly. It gives you super speed, but it
turns a speedster's lightning blue, according to CW.
Yeah, which is really weird. It looks cool on Zoom, at least.
It's weird how they have like different lightning types in the CW.
Well, that's a thing in the comics too. It's weird.
Was purple lightning one of them?
I think so. We will never know the identity of that man now. He's gone. He's erased from existence.
So should a lot of DC rebirth. But anyway. So we have some news. First bit of news. Forewarning, all this is going to be coronavirus-related news, so we're sorry, but that's just...
Yeah, I know y'all are sick of it, but it's like, it's all there is to talk about anymore.
Trust us, we're sick of it too.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get through this part quick.
Yeah, so the first thing is that Marvel Comics are partially halting comic production, like a third of them, I think.
Yeah. And for the past 2 weeks, neither Marvel or DC have really released any comics that weren't digital exclusives.
We were so fucking close to getting Kindred back and having Peter and Kindred face off. Then the coronavirus is just nope, not happening.
No, you gotta wait.
Yeah.
And for me, who reads Immortal Hulk, you gotta wait to figure out where the fucking cliffhanger at the end of the last issue goes. God damn it!
It was coronavirus.
So good. It was setting up such cool shit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But in all seriousness, the pandemic is really gonna fuck up the comics industry.
Oh yeah, no. I know over on Panel to Panel they've talked about this before.
So
go listen to them because I guarantee you all three
they're
of them
more
got way more insight and knowledge into stuff than I do.
They are far more well informed than either. So
yeah, so go check them out when it comes to this kind of stuff. Go listen to them in general, not even about this stuff.
I guest featured on a couple Panel to Panel episodes. I guest featured for Endgame. I guest featured for talking to David Pepose, who writes Spencer and Locke. That's just me shamelessly plugging myself. But anyway,
I've only been on this one.
But if you guys want to listen to those, go ahead. We recommend.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the comics industry is going to get shaken up.
Which I hope that this spells that things are going to change permanently because
for the better.
Yes, because the comic industry has needed big changes since the 80s.
It's there's a synergy between the US government and the comics industry where it's just keep tweaking the same system that worked 30 years ago and hope it still works even if it doesn't. That
is the most accurate thing I've ever heard in my life. That is the perfect analogy for this shit. And anytime anyone comes in who's hey, I got a way to fix this, no problem, everyone kicks them out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Bernie, I'm so sorry for what America did to
you. We did not deserve him or his policies. We deserve to die. I don't actually mean that. We're fine. We don't deserve to die.
Happy thoughts.
Yeah. It was Easter a day ago, damn it.
Yeah.
And no one even cared.
There was nothing to do. Nothing to do.
I went and grabbed one of those Easter egg Reese cups from Wawa's, and that was it.
The only thing to do was beat the crap out of Zipper in Animal Crossing, and that's it.
God, I am so glad I time traveled beyond fucking Bunny Day beforehand, because it was the worst. Every other item I'd get was a fucking egg, and I couldn't do anything with it.
What do you even use the eggs for? Can you trade them in for bells or whatever?
You can sell them, and you can use them to, make stuff, and if you make everything you can with the eggs, then Zipper gives you some kind of reward. I didn't care to find out what that reward was, because I wanted to get out.
It's another egg.
I would not be shocked if it was a golden egg.
But anyway, so yeah, the comics industry is being really screwed up by now. Also, taking a hit is the film industry.
Yes.
So the MCU has pushed back all of its films into each other's dates. So now Black Widow is taking Eternals' date. Eternals is taking Shang-Chi's date. Shang-Chi's date is taking Doctor Strange's date. Doctor Strange's date is taking Thor's date, and now Thor is in early 2022. And also Captain Marvel is coming out July 2022, which is cool. Let Brie Larson direct the movie, please.
Yeah, and I think Black Panther 2 comes out not long after that.
Yeah, it comes out May 2022.
That's
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
which I might like this lineup better, almost, in terms of dates for these movies, if only because Shang-Chi gets the May slot, and that's where all the money goes.
Oh yeah, like that's a huge boost for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, which I've said before, I know like barely anything about Shang-Chi.
But that's what makes it so exciting, because
exactly. Like Marvel, before all this happened, they did announce they were going to put out a Shang-Chi comic because, the movie, we got to try to get those sales. And that will never come because that's not how it works, I guess. But as much as I wish it was, but either way, they were putting out a new Shang-Chi book, and I was definitely going to go check it out if I liked the movie.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't like the movie, I'd probably check out the book anyway.
Honestly, the movie could take the most liberties with him, because like his history in terms of like what his powers are and what his lore is like very like back and forth.
His dad's name in the comics is Fu Manchu. We got to change.
They're definitely going to
take some liberties.
They're definitely going to make his dad the Mandarin. I can say that for certain.
I'm pretty sure they confirmed that at some point.
Yeah.
Which, that's fine. Do something with Mandarin, because everyone always... I just want to bring up this with Iron Man 3, although I didn't care much for the Mandarin twist itself. Everyone always calls the Mandarin, like, Iron Man's Joker or Green Goblin, like his arch enemy. Mandarin sucks. His only thing is he's magic.
I don't like see it. I don't. When people said that, like in 2013, I was just like, you could not tell me who Iron Man's main antagonist is. You could not tell me that. Like
name 3 good Mandarin stories, and I'll believe you. But until you do, Mandarin is not good, and honestly, he's not even used in much anyway. Like Crimson Dynamo is probably Iron Man's arch enemy, if anything.
Either him or Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, and we used him in the first one, so we're already past that.
Like, if here's the thing, like, fuck, what was I gonna say?
Here's the thing, I lost the thing.
Shit. But yeah, I just like. I love Iron Man 3 a lot more, and I like the Mandarin twist, but I think I would have worked better if the Guy Pearce character was the actual Mandarin and also not a white guy.
Yeah, and I would have liked it better if Killian was a good villain, but he's just kind of meh.
He's all right. It just sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're fine. I've been interrupting you.
No, I've been interrupting you.
Okay, fine.
All right, go.
All right. Because like Rebecca Hall, who played Maya Hansen, she was supposed to be the main villain, and then Ike Perlmutter was like, no, we can't have women being villains because reasons.
Sell those toys. It's like, you can't sell toys of a shirtless guy either. It's like...
I wonder how he felt after seeing Black Panther and Captain...
I am almost positive he was seething with rage when the trailers dropped. And then that makes me happy.
Like...
And meanwhile, he just stares at his Inhumans TV poster and...
That's what I was going to say. Oh my god.
Like, he slowly turns his chair over, and in the corners... an Inhumans poster covered in dust and cobwebs, and he just sheds a tear.
Oh fuck! But anyway,
I apologize to all 12 Inhumans fans out there.
Oh god.
Okay, that was mean, but for real, I'm sorry.
You're not entirely wrong, but anyway, the reason we mention this is that Spidey 3 has halted pre-production, but it's still set for July 2021. Do you think they're going to change it? Do you think they're going to push it back at all?
I feel like if this goes until like all this goes on until like June of this year, maybe, but I feel like Sony's going to be like, that they want the summertime slot for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's like who's working on Spidey 3 is working from home for pre-production right now.
Yeah, I know that John Watts is, because he posted that image of Spidey in the hoodie suit at the computer saying "work at home."
Yeah,
which I thought that was cute. The working from home as the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope that once again I hope that the movie is not rushed.
Yeah.
Because Eternals was being rushed, and they've even apparently like the Black Knight suit that Kit Harington is wearing is apparently being CG'd partially because they didn't have a complete suit. So
that makes me so sad.
I'm excited for Eternals, but like the suits,
they're not great. They're pretty dull, honestly.
Like the only one that stands out is Icarus's suit.
Yeah,
and that's like
it's like okay.
It's only because of the blue and the 3 things on the chest.
Yeah.
And even honestly, then, it's like they couldn't have added more red.
Yeah, I really wish they just straight up took Jack Kirby's designs from the comics and just made them into the movie suits.
Because, I mean, they did that for Thor Ragnarok. Why wouldn't they do that for Eternals?
Yeah, because Eternals are more or less Marvel's New Gods. Like, it's a
pretty
somewhat
much
similar
like they announced it right after DC said we're making a New Gods movie.
Yeah. So, and the whole thing is, when Jack Kirby, when he first left Marvel to DC, he created all the New Gods and stuff, and it was really cool. And DC, ever since Kirby left, has no idea what to do with any of them.
Yeah,
unfortunately, because
Marvel doesn't know what to do with the. Marvel doesn't know what to do with the Eternals.
They've never known what to do with those, which I will forever. I don't like Jason Aaron's Avengers run, but I will forever love the fact that, when the Inhumans were possibly getting a movie, they were made like the center of the Marvel universe for like 5 years. And they were like super essential. With Eternals, the first couple issues of Aaron's run, they're fucking dead. They're all dead. They're all gone. They don't exist anymore.
No
and
more
they're
Eternals.
Getting a movie in a couple of years.
But anyway, so
movie comic synergy is fun like that, people. Sometimes either they're given way too much prominence or they're just straight up killed off.
Yep. It's one way or the other. Between. But I don't know. I hope Spidey 3, I hope everybody working on it is pacing themselves and not, I hope that we can still get it on its date as long as it's not super rushed.
Yeah.
Because for this kind of story, you need it to be good.
This is kind of Far From Home was more or less the make it or break it movie for MCU Spidey for people, so like...
But this is the one that's supposed to fully solidify him.
Yeah, which you need to do that right. If you screw it up, then it's over.
Yeah. Which I have faith in them. I have faith in John Watson.
Oh, same.
I know some people don't like the writers for Far From Home and Homecoming, but I think they're fine.
Yeah, which I can definitely understand. They feel like there's way too many haha kids are funny jokes kind of thing.
Yeah, but
I get that, but at the same time, I'm like...
But now they're in a position where it's like they have to do a more serious story.
Yes, you can't have a joke every couple of minutes with this one. This is probably going to be a more serious movie overall.
Yeah. In tone, it would be similar to Winter Soldier and
oh my
Civil
god,
War.
That'd be perfect, honestly, if it's that kind of tone.
It's like Winter Soldier and Civil War have comedy in it.
Yeah.
But it's like it has its serious moments. Like the scene with Tony Stark and the woman whose son died. The final confrontation between Tony and Steve. there's so much stuff in those movies that are like strong, and I think Peter needs that right now because we've had two movies of fun adventures with serious moments, but not like completely serious. So
it's the tone. The overall tone is still like fun, happy adventure kind of stuff. Like
now,
it's friendly neighborhood is what it is.
Now we need to be like amazing.
Exactly. We gotta Marvel Knights it up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Not full Mark Millar Marvel Knights Spider-Man. Just like a dash of it.
Just a little pinch. But
if I see Hannibal Lecter, Norman Osborn on the big screen, I'm gonna roll my eyes and leave the theater.
Oh boy. But anyway, so that's that. Hopefully they won't have to delay, but if it comes down to it, they should.
Oh, definitely.
But so one more bit of news. Unfortunately, everybody's most anticipated movie ever, the one everybody was looking forward to, Morbius, Let the Vampire In, has been delayed to March, and we won't get to see Matt Smith with his back tattoos.
We won't be able to see Matt Smith with plasma written across his chest.
God.
Man,
I'm actually really sad about that because, like, honestly, I was like,
yeah. I don't. My roommate, who's been like away with family for the past couple of weeks, he's like the only one I know who was genuinely excited for this movie, and I'm like,
God,
why? And then he gave his reasons where it's just Morbius is cool, and it's like, is he? Did we watch the same cartoon?
It's like that. It's like the Thor.
Exactly. I that is the one time I've ever where comparing me to Chris Hemsworth is accurate. He's just.
But yeah.
But I do want to preface, if you were genuinely excited for that movie, that's great. Like, I'm happy for you, but
and we're sorry that the movie's been delayed.
Yes, I do feel bad, but at the same time, I'm only really in to see the bad parts.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil what these supposed leaks were for all of you. But
no,
we
spoiled one, but even then, we don't.
It's not the biggest one, but it's if you want to read those, they're a fucking trip.
Yeah, you can find them on Reddit, so take them with a grain of salt. But I really hope they're all real.
Because I mean, the Rise of Skywalker on Reddit, so why not? True. Why not this one? But anyway, so Morbius has been delayed. Unfortunately, Venom 2 is still set for October.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll delay because October is around the time when this thing will probably be over.
Yeah,
if all goes well, but
yeah. It honestly sucks seeing some movies having to push back and others like try to make some money by just going straight to digital.
Yeah,
it's like. You remember Bloodshot that was in theaters for like a week?
And then they just put it on digital? Yeah,
and that I've seen that movie. It's really, really boring.
It just looks like an early 2000s movie.
That's basically Bloodshot right there.
It looks like Venom, but Valiant Comics.
Yeah, that's basically Bloodshot. From everything I've seen of him, he's just kind of meh.
But anyway, so we'll see if Venom 2 gets delayed. There are rumors that the trailer is coming out soon.
Yeah.
If it's already out by the time this episode is, we're going to look very dumb. But anyway.
Yeah, we've just dated ourselves, but that's okay. Where would we be if we didn't do that?
if it does release within the next few days, we'll make it our next episode's topic.
Yeah,
but,
we will push back the other topic we have to the next week.
Yeah, because we got to make time for our good boy Eddie Brock. But
yeah.
But yeah, so
we gotta let the devil into our friggin' podcast office that I drew a couple weeks ago.
I mean, you have Venom playing. You have Venom by Eminem playing on the radio there, so
yeah, yep, and it's still playing on loop. I can't shut it off.
But aside from that, Sony's October 2021 movie is delayed indefinitely. So don't know what that was going to be. It might have been Craven. It might have been Spider-Woman. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, whatever it was, it's far away.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for excuse me. Hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Got a burp.
There you go.
Okay, so we are on to our main topic now. We are going to talk about something a little small, but small in length, but big in terms of impact.
Yeah, it's a short story. It's only like what, 2 or 3 issues?
2 issues, only 2 issues.
Okay, I guess in the trade they included a couple extra stuff like to it.
Yeah, because right before it, they had stuff with the Hulk in Montreal.
That's right. That was weird.
If you don't know what we're talking about the death of Gwendolyn Maxine Stacy.
Yeah, Spider-Man's first real love interest, not counting the very brief time that he wanted to date Betty Brant, which is very weird.
Because she's an adult and he was a teenager.
Yeah, and it was very creepy whenever we see Betty's thought balloons and it'd be how Peter's so hot.
Anyway.
Stanley had that problem a lot in his books, it seemed.
Yeah.
It's like between that and X. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, honestly, who knows? Let's just leave that in the past.
Yeah, let's just move on to it will kill it.
Let's so we're talking Gwen Stacy Kindred's origin story.
Hopefully,
if all goes well. So if you
don't
need
that vindication.
We need the vindication. James needs the vindication. All will be right in the world if Gwen Stacy is Kindred.
If it's Harry, I'm going to jump off that bridge.
I will jump with you.
All right. We'll meet up in New York for the first time just to die.
But anyway, so the gist of this story is basically Peter gets back from Montreal. Harry is going a little bonkers because he tripped on some acid and now he's sick.
Yeah, he there's a drug dealer next to the university, and Harry needed something to I think it was originally it was a quick thing to help him stay awake to study, and then it very evolved into an actual problem.
Yeah.
Which this was a big thing that Stan really wanted to do, was have the comics talk a lot about drug abuse for teens and stuff.
He single-handedly pretty much brought down the comics code because of
Comics Code Authority was we're not approving this issue, and Stan was okay. Or Stan, Jerry Conway and Romita Sr. were okay, and they still put it out and it made money, so it's that was the first instance of the comic book industry realizing that the Comics Code Authority is worthless.
And then when the direct market came in the 80s, didn't need the comics code anymore.
Yeah.
But basically, Gwen and MJ are watching over as Peter gets back. Peter tries to come in, stopped by a mad, raving Norman Osborn.
Yeah, because he's having his 12th mental breakdown about being the Green Goblin again.
This is he hasn't become the Green Goblin again since the first final encounter. But he's still kind of crazy. He's going paranoid, believes everybody's after him.
Yeah,
tells.
I think he has turned back at least once or twice beforehand, but he always got amnesia right after.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that was the thing. Because back then they didn't care. There were comic books. Green Goblin knows who Spider-Man is. Well, we'll just give him amnesia so that we can still do Spider-Man stories. Because otherwise, everyone Peter knows should be dead.
Nowadays, nowadays everything needs to be explained. Back then, nobody cared.
Yeah, exactly. It was the opposite problem.
Yeah.
It was comic books. Who cares? Green Goblin knows who Spider-Man is. Okay, we'll just give him amnesia. And then every time he would remember and turn back into Green Goblin, they'd have to give him amnesia again.
Mm-hmm.
So it created a problem.
Well, in this case, something very, very different. But
well, yeah, but that's because this was like the moment where the writers were like, "We can't keep doing this over and over again. We gotta stop."
Yeah. So basically, Norman shuts out Peter, MJ, and Gwen. Excuse me.
Yeah, because he thinks they're all bad influences on his son.
So basically, Peter goes to turn in images to the Bugle, and he's sick, and JJ is like, "You can't contaminate the office. Go away." And it's like, wow, this is timely.
Man, this book never goes out of date.
Yeah, no. And history is just one flat circle. It goes around and around and around and around until the end of infinity. So Peter sells some photos. Norman remembers the truth that he's Green Goblin and that Peter is Spider-Man. Becomes Green Goblin again. Harry is still tripping balls. And the art, to me, it's great art, but it's still just funny seeing that Harry is literally a mini Norman. Are you there? Brian has left the chat. Oh, no. Brian? Okay. If you can hear me, I'm just going to keep explaining the story. So basically, Harry just looks like a mini Norman, which is funny. So basically, are you back? Brian is still having technical difficulties with us, everybody. Are you good?
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, well, what the fuck?
You okay?
Well, yeah, one sec. My microphone is acting up a bit.
Okay.
My headset is, actually.
We are sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody.
Yeah, this is all my bad.
Yeah, it's all Brian's fault. Everybody send your hate mail to him.
What the fuck?
This stuff happens all the time when we're doing this, so...
Okay, we're gonna skip the headset. We're just gonna... Hang on.
By the way, Brian, don't feel bad about this. We love you. Your problems are valid. And, yeah.
Okay, am I back?
Yes.
Okay, I ditched the headphones, like the microphone. I'm just going to speak through my phone normally with headphones on.
Okay. Where did you last hear me?
Harry's tripping balls.
Yeah, Harry's tripping balls, and the art is great, but he looks like a mini Norman, and that's just funny to me.
Yeah.
I still don't know who decided, whose artistic inspiration was it for both of them to have waves that made you seasick, with red waves. Who?
All I'm gonna say is Steve Ditko is a genius.
This is why I want Giancarlo Esposito to play Norman Osborn, because Giancarlo Esposito has waves that can make you sick, and that's
there you go.
But it's funny. I'm like, was this a Harry style back in the 70s? The big, why is Harry 20 years old and he has a giant ass widow's peak?
Everyone back then had a giant widow's peak.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I have one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it isn't that far-fetched. I hate it. Widow's peaks are terrible. Makes me self-conscious about my hairline. But anyway, so...
Like Peter was always drawn dressed as if he was like 50, so...
When he was 15.
Yeah, exactly. He dressed like a 70-year-old man. So.
Oh, but according to some people on Spider-Man Twitter, he was actually 16 in 616, and the 15-year-old, like, have you seen that? Where it's like Spider-Man Twitter tried to make a big argument about how 15 is inaccurate.
Oh my fucking god! It doesn't matter.
It really does not fucking. Okay. Anyway, that was just a little anecdote. Sorry, everybody. But anyway, so Harry's tripping balls, and then Norman goes, "Oh shit! I'm the Green Goblin. I'm gonna go kill the fuck out of Peter Parker now." Yeah, so then, oh what?
Go ahead. Sorry, I wasn't saying anything. I was just agreeing.
So then basically,
the fuck?
That was my watch. I smacked it against my desk. But anyway,
I thought you got like hit in the back of the head with a bottle or something.
Oh god, I would hate if that happened. But anyway,
replaced with your clone or something.
So, Gwen is pretty much like, okay, well, I'm in Peter's apartment, just wallowing around.
Yeah, a couple days ago I was in England, but I got sad, so I came back home.
In a few months before that, I was doing something else. We won't talk about that.
No.
We won't talk about that right now, Brian.
I know we won't.
But anyway, so Green Goblin just comes in. It's like that meme of Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Yes.
Green Goblin just swoops in behind her, kidnaps her, takes her to the bridge.
Yep, and leaves a little pumpkin as like a calling card, basically.
So Peter tracks them down. It fights Green Goblin in comedic fashion.
I will say he tracks him down in the most roundabout way possible. The George Washington Bridge. Of course, Norman would bring her here. He loves money, and George Washington is on the $1 bill, which would then be edited out of future versions because that was fucking stupid.
That okay, Jerry Conway, iconic writer, but a lot of the dialogue in these two issues is just
which that's just kind of how it was in the time anyway, so I don't entirely blame him.
Yeah. But
it's like, but yeah, and then as he calls it the George Washington Bridge, you just hear off in the distance, "Hey, the Brooklyn Bridge, you fucking noob." You fucking idiot.
I think you tweeted about that, didn't you?
Where yes, where he says the George Washington Bridge, and then I post a picture of the George Washington Bridge, and it is very clearly different.
Yeah, where it's just the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, it's the George Washington Bridge is the one in the 90s cartoon with the Green Goblin gets sucked into the portal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the George Washington Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge is like made of bricks, which I would not be shocked if the reason it's in the dialogue it's George Washington, but in the art it's Brooklyn, is the Brooklyn Bridge is way easier to draw. And Romeo Sr. didn't want to draw the George Washington Bridge 1,000 times.
Yeah, that makes sense. So basically Peter and Norman duke it out. Peter is being all gung-ho, as he usually is, making jokes left and right.
Yeah.
Then Gwen Stacy falls. Then he catches her, and he's like, "Okay, I got you." Nope.
Wait, what? What happened? What?
I literally caught you. Why are you not breathing?
Yeah, wait, what? I'm the hero. I'm supposed to save you. That's what I do.
No, she's dead. Her neck snapped.
Yep. But then Green Goblin goes, "No, she died from the fall. A fall from that height would kill anyone."
How? That's not how physics work.
Yeah, no. It felt like a last minute throw in to make you not hate Peter for accidentally killing Gwen, but all future like versions of the story would just ignore that because that's stupid.
Yeah, and then the first issue ends with Peter being like, "You killed the one I love, and for that you're..." And the next issue, Goblin and Peter fight a bit more, and Goblin gets away, and Peter has to... It's funny, the beginning of the issue is still talking like a superhero, even though like the love of his life literally just died, and I'm just like...
Yeah.
This is the part of it where I'm just like... Time.
Yeah. Well, when you take into account that this was the 70s and comics...
And this was the first time anything like this has been done, really?
Yes. This was the first real time that's like noteworthy of they killed off the love interest in the superhero comics, because back then you didn't do that. You didn't kill off Lois Lane or the I don't know, 4 others that have names. But back then they did not matter. Is the thing.
We just know of Lois Lane and Mary Jane Watson. That's all we know.
Pretty much. The rest of them were, I guess, Carol with Green Lantern and
Iris.
Iris. Oh yeah, she died shortly after this. Actually, I remember.
Yeah, Reverse Flash is like, "You're gonna marry me, or I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Yeah, I'm just gonna vibrate my hand through your brain, and there you go. You're dead.
That's literally just like... Ugh.
Yeah. Reverse Flash is one of the most fucked up people in comics.
Basically, just because his motivation is so petty.
He is the pettiest villain ever.
But
I have time travel powers. I'm going to go back in time to... You remember that time when you were 8 and someone pushed you down the stairs and you didn't see who that was? That was me. You remember that time you left the door open and the dog got out? I opened the door. That was me. Remember
that time you stepped in dog shit, Barry? It was that dog shit.
You remember that time there was a pickle? I turned myself into a pickle.
No, please don't. Okay, you're a bit muffled.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I have to hold my phone close to my face now because I don't have my microphone.
It's okay. I don't blame you. But yeah, so basically, Peter and Goblin...
It was me. It was me, Barry. It was me all along, Barry. It's Vince McMahon where he pulls off the mask.
I love that. I love that.
It's the best. I miss when WWE was good and not total shit.
Well,
the company, at least. It wasn't...
Can we say it was ever really that good?
Look, Purple Glove Undertaker takes the win no matter what.
I'm talking about Vince McMahon in general.
Oh no, Vince McMahon is a fuck, and he always has been. That is a fact.
He's a lunatic.
He is. And
they're supposed to be making a biopic about him. See how fucking insane his life was.
Oh my god. I need to see that.
He's just such a weird individual. Like,
he is psychotic.
I cannot imagine having a conversation with him.
I don't want to imagine that.
It would just be way too weird.
It would be.
Because all I can imagine him as is the guy scene of the N-word.
Oh, jeez.
Remember that?
I do.
Yeah. But anyway, so...
enough talking about that scumbuttons. Never mind. I can't talk. Never mind.
Don't worry, I can't either. But, so basically Peter and Goblin duke it out. Gets away. The police show up and Peter's like, yeah, she's dead, and Spider-Man killed her.
Wait, what?
I don't know. But, so, I'm gonna burp again.
Alright.
Give me a sec.
Okay.
Sorry. It's in that phase between where it's like, I feel like if I push harder, I'll get throat acid or whatever. But anyway.
Look, the acid reflux.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the worst.
It is. But anyway, so Peter's just pissed off as hell. Goes to try to talk to Harry.
This is definitely the angriest Peter has been since Amazing Fantasy 15.
And he's drawn that way. Like his face is...
Yeah, Ramita Jr. really is... Senior, I mean, is really just... No, he is pissed. His eyelids are at a constant V shape, no matter what.
His eyes are constantly wide open. He's not whatsoever. He goes to try to
I wouldn't be shocked if... I wouldn't be shocked if they were gonna maybe draw the pupils in the Spider-Man eyes like they did in Amazing Fantasy 15 at one point, just to really show how fucking angry he is,
and how nothing on this level has happened since then.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, except with George Stacy, but who cares about him? But yeah,
George is the closest, and even then, that was really more of Gwen being that mad. And Peter was just kind of sad.
Honestly, I think Dennis Leary's George Stacy is better than comic George Stacy.
Comic George Stacy's barely a character.
Yeah,
he's less of a character than Gwen.
And Gwen is barely a character.
Yeah, him dying was meant to try to give Gwen character, and all it did was make it more annoying for the writers to write for her, because now she has to be pissed at Spider-Man and hates whenever he's brought up, and it's like we just cause more problems for ourselves.
Yeah, I don't like that, but yeah, I don't know, but anyway, so Peter goes to try to visit Harry. Harry's still tripping balls, and Peter's like, "Oh fuck this! I'm not gonna try."
Yeah, I'm not dealing with this right now. I just had the most traumatic experience of my life since I was in high school.
And now Harry's having the most traumatic experience of his life because his best friend is leaving him when he needs.
Yeah, and then he hallucinate all the pills raining around him and
Or was not in this one. Not in this one. I don't think. I don't know.
I distinctly remember a page where it's just Harry's head surrounded by pills.
Might have been in an earlier comic because I don't remember it in 121 or 122.
I guess it was in one of the trades collections of this issue or of this story.
Maybe I don't know,
because there was a bit of build up to more build up to Harry's drug problem. Just issues.
It had to have been before.
121.
Okay, but. Basically, so then Peter suits up and tries to talk to Robbie and be like, "Hey, need you to find Norman Osborn's whereabouts and stuff."
Yeah, did Norman own any really weird places that he shouldn't normally have, warehouses and stuff? And Robbie's you could look through the files, I guess.
Then Robbie's like, "Oh, wouldn't you know? Here it is." And then then.
I've always loved the idea that Robbie, he knows Peter is Spider-Man.
Oh, 100%. He knows.
Yeah.
Especially in the Raimi movies.
Oh, yeah, no, he straight up, basically winks at him, telling him, "I know you're Spider-Man, so go do your job."
The fact that they never followed through with that, I just hate.
Same goes for Aunt May, honestly, where it's in Spider-Man 3, she doesn't act like she knows anymore.
In Spider-Man 3 and in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, they always do that. Sony always does that, where they make it seem like this person probably knows that Peter's Spider-Man because they're heavily hinting at it. And then very next movie, I have no idea.
That's why I'm glad that they were just nope, Aunt May knows now in MCU.
Which I like that idea. I kind of wish they did more with it.
I'm sure they will in the third. I feel like Disney didn't do more with it.
Yeah,
because of story circumstances, because immediately after Endgame and how much they didn't really have time to do it in Infinity War and Endgame. So
yeah, I feel like it was a mistake to have Aunt May also get snapped away and be gone for those 5 years.
That was a mistake, and I feel like that was a choice made during Far From Home's production.
I think so, because I am almost positive at some point they said Aunt May is still here.
Yeah, the Russos said that. I remember vividly. There were several articles where they said that she survived, and that's why I was like, okay, in Endgame, there's going to be a scene between her and Tony when he's going to go off to try to get Peter back.
Yeah, which that would have been fucking great.
I feel like that scene exists, but they can't show it because of continuity stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like that would have been like the perfect chance to give Aunt May some of the gray hair. Because it's been 5 years, so you can make her look older.
Like they showed like, oh, I'm gonna burp again.
And I'm the one drinking soda. What the hell?
I don't know. I burp from everything. I don't know why. I'll burp from air. Like,
just an air bubble goes in the wrong way.
But basically, like, if you saw what Marisa Tomei posted on Instagram, she showed like several different designs for what Aunt May would look like in Far From Home, and some of them had her look like actually older. Like she had glasses and her hair was a bit grayer, and like, so that's why I'm like, okay, I feel like they were gonna have her survive, but I guess like because they didn't want to shove in too much into Far From Home, so.
Yeah, so they just had her snap away too for a throwaway joke, and that was it.
Yeah, I think it's just because of story circumstances and all that. But
I feel like it was probably Sony who was like, we can't have too many ties into Endgame, so she's also exactly how she was in the last movie.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely some kind of executive decision to change at like the last minute.
Yeah, but anyway, so JJ bursts in on Spidey and Robbie talking. Spidey webs his mouth and he's like, "Just keep your mouth shut about the stuff you don't understand." Which,
yeah, no, that was that. This is where that line came from.
So much of that first Spider movie came from these two issues. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's crazy.
Like, so what happens next is that Peter tracks down Norman to a warehouse, which is where the finale for the first movie takes place. Then they fight. Then Norman dies by impaling himself on the glider. It's just in the comic, it's in his chest and not in his balls.
Yeah, it's not. Peter, I'll never have kids again.
I still don't get that choice. I still don't get it.
I feel like they wanted at the midsection, so Willem Dafoe could still kind of move around a little bit and like just fall on top of it or whatever.
They could have at least raised it a bit higher so we knew it wasn't his balls, because that's more funny than it is like. Like it's funny, but also like, oh god, like, dying from getting your balls impaled. That's like
that's up there.
I mean, maybe comic Norman deserved it, but not Raimi Norman, because Raimi Norman was like, he wasn't perfect, but like before the thing, he was like not a bad person.
Well, nah, he was kind of a dick anyway.
He was kind of a dick, but like he didn't try to force anybody to volunteer for the experiment. He volunteered himself because he.
I feel like that might have been less like selflessness and more no one will do it. Like
True.
Like this shit's shutting down and no one is willing to join up with this Captain America program I'm trying to make.
I guess, but I just see it because like Norman's more of an asshole when he gets Goblin serum. Yes. Before that, he's just like.
He's just there.
He's kind of tone deaf, but he means, like, especially with Harry.
Yeah, which that is kind of how it was in the comics as well, where like Norman was a sort of decent person, kind of, at least to Harry. Like he did. This is a thing that would change over the years, but back in the day, Norman does genuinely love Harry. It's just he's an asshole about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like in like recent years the line between Norman and Green Goblin has blurred to the point that they're the same person now.
Pretty much.
Like there is no other personality. It's just Norman changes into a different costume now.
Well, now it's
Oh, now it's Carnage. So
now he thinks he's Cletus Cassidy for reasons.
Yeah, which okay. Hopefully that gets fixed soon.
Hopefully. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, especially when the ending where Norman's dying and he tells Peter to not tell Harry, and Peter kept his promise because Norman didn't want like Harry to look. Norman didn't want.
He didn't want his son to hate him.
Yeah. So that showed that, like, yeah, Norman was not a bad person. I mean, he wasn't great. He was kind of a dick sometimes, but like the serum was what kind of drove him over the edge.
He wasn't evil, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's why I'm just like, when he gets impaled in the, I feel more sorry for him than like, yeah, get your just hurts.
Yeah. But I will say one thing I do really like about the comic version of the death more than the movie is in the comic, the glider it impales him and then it pins it to the wall, and then the engine's still like running, so it's just pushing him into the wall until it runs out of gas, and then he just falls over.
Ugh, yeah.
Like, I love that. That's so gruesome. It's great.
It is. I don't know what happens to his body after that. Peter just is like, okay, I'm gonna.
He just gets like dumped somewhere, and then he comes back to life.
And Luke Cage saw the whole thing, because
did he?
He did. He was the guy standing in the corner.
Oh, I forgot. What?
Because the next issue, like, it ends with it being like, oh, there's a mysterious onlooker who saw the whole thing, and the next issue is when they introduce Luke Cage.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool, and I wish they would do more with that.
It's so weird that Luke Cage was introduced in the Spider-Man comic.
Right?
Like, Punisher and Luke Cage were both introduced in Spider-Man comics. At least I think.
Yeah. Punisher definitely was, so I know that.
I think this was Luke Cage's first appearance. But
I wouldn't be too surprised, since they did that with their Black Heroes, where they would be introduced in other books first. Like they did with Black Panther. He was introduced in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And it was really weird, kind of, where it's like, you fight me to prove that you're worthy of helping me. And then they did, and it was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But this story ends with a very iconic scene where MJ's waiting for Peter, and MJ's like, I've heard about what happened. I'm very torn. Like, you don't know, what are you talking about? You literally you don't care about anything. You just love to party all the time.
Yeah,
just go and leave me alone.
Yeah, because throughout this, pretty much most of MJ's like existence at this point, she was basically just a party girl. Yeah,
like they haven't delved into her deep nature yet.
Yeah, this was like the beginning of MJ getting a character outside of fun-loving party girl.
Yeah, and then it ends beautifully where it's the 3 panels where it's like she goes to the door, she looks back at Peter, and she just simply shuts the door and stays with him.
Yep.
Like
that, I love that. That's really good.
That's like solid, unspoken character development. And I almost wish there were no text boxes explaining everything.
Yeah.
I know that's how it was back in the day, but now I'm just like, I really wish that they just let the moment speak for itself.
Yeah, that is one thing that's always kind of annoying when you go back to these older comics where everything is explained.
Yeah.
Like everything is explained either by speech bubbles or narration boxes.
Like Gwen's death here isn't very emotional because it's followed by a lot of talking and a lot of
you don't get to feel the impact of it until later.
Yeah, because it's just Peter being like, oh, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, and honestly, Green Goblin's death has way more impact in the moment.
Because it's more silent.
Yeah, like, you still get the narration, and it's cool narration, so it works.
So, basically, that's the story, but, like, I think it's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a solid story. it was it definitely, because like the thing is that this had huge ramifications for the entire superhero genre, like in general.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, this was really the first notable like instance of killing off the love interest like this.
I think some people have called it the death of innocence in comic books.
I believe so, because there's a. Have you read Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross?
I haven't, but I know of like this because
you know the general idea of the book.
Yeah,
it's like a kind of a history of the Marvel universe through the eyes of this photographer from World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And like up to this point, I think his name was Phil Sheldon. I think it was something like that. But he idolized the superheroes, or the Marvels as they were called in the book, which I like that. That's a cool idea.
I wish they'd call them that more often.
Right? It's neat, and it gives you something to help differentiate from DC. But
what would they call them? The DCs? That's the stupidest joke I've ever made.
Well, they got the deceased, so
true.
God, I can't believe that that's a title.
It's too perfect.
It honestly kind of is. But anyway, right, in that book, like up to this point, the guy idolized superheroes, like he worshipped them basically, even when pretty much everyone else was kind of getting scared, because you got the Hulk and Iron Man and the X-Men, and it's like, these are scary.
Yeah.
But this guy was still like, no, they're cool, they save us like all the time, what are you talking about? And then this happens, and
this is when he gives up on them, right?
Yeah, this is the moment that like the Marvels are over. Like, this is it. They are dead to him. And it's like, that's how it ends too, where he like sells a book about it, and it's like, that's dark, but that's really good.
Yeah, because that's essentially like what happened. It was the death of innocence in comics, because nothing like this really ever happened.
Yeah, like they would like just skirt the line, but they would never do it.
And like, yeah,
like this was a huge deal, and it changed the way superhero comics were written forever.
We would have had none of the darker stuff, I don't think, if this didn't happen.
I have to agree. I feel like we would have had to have waited way longer to get to darker stories. I think
we probably would have had like super iconic storylines and characters if this didn't happen.
Oh, definitely not. Like, I guarantee MJ would still be just the airhead party girl, for like another decade at least.
I saw about this. I might have to look into it, but apparently in like Mexico or something, they saw that they were going to kill off Gwen, and they did not want that to happen, so they started making their own comics where she survived, and they went on for like 40-something issues.
That's right. That was a thing.
That's insane. That's like so insane that it's like Mexico made their, like, comic artists and writers there made their own fan fiction essentially.
Yeah, like the entire country couldn't handle it, so they turned to fan fiction.
They did. It's insane. It really is. Like that.
Yeah.
This whole thing like had such a huge ramification.
Yeah, because like when it happened, fans were pissed.
Oh yeah, they were. They were like super pissed.
Yeah, because like you didn't do that. You don't get to do that. That's not allowed. But
apparently Stan Lee didn't approve of it either.
There are like different stories. The actual like where this whole idea came from for the story, there's like 3 different accounts, but the like consistent factors are Stan was either in Europe at the time or was about to go to Europe for like a vacation or a business trip or something.
Yeah.
And Jerry Conway or Mia Sr. and whatever, like either from Stan's account, he was like just packing and getting ready to leave, and they came to his office and was like, "We want to kill off Gwen Stacy," and he's like, "I wasn't really paying that much attention," so I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, do it." And then he left, and then came back, and everything was on fire. So yeah, there's that.
It's like that meme where it's like, I told and John Romita to kill off Gwen Stacy. They actually did it, the absolute mad lads. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You know that meme?
I was that, but I was thinking of the GIF where it's like the guy walking in with the pizzas and the entire room is just on fire.
Oh yeah. That's
like
someone said that was Jared Leto coming back out meditation trip to find out that the world was in a pandemic.
Yeah, that too. Which that's great. I love that.
That man still scares me.
Oh yeah, no, he's a freak. Just straight up, he's weird. And I should not be saying that as a weirdo myself, but he scares me.
Or like, we're weird in the sense that it's just like we have quirks and stuff.
Yeah,
he's weird in terms of that he has cults and is kind of a pedophile.
He has a cult and he sells like dead rats to people.
And he may or may not be a pedophile.
Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but anyway,
Hollywood, stop giving him work, I beg you.
Don't know why Sony. Anyway,
you know exactly why they did.
Yeah, but anyway, so this is like not super important, but it's just something curious to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this counts as fridging, or do you think fridging came about because they were trying to replicate this moment?
Mm-hmm. I would say that this is like, I would say this counts as the first real instance of fridging, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, this is what spawned that trend and would lead all the way up to Kyle Rayner's run, where by that point it became a trope. Like,
and they tried to like do it even more every time to make it so more tragic.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the reason Death of Gwen Stacy works compared to them is it's very simple. Like, it's simple and it is genuinely tragic.
And it's not gory.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, whoever was writing Kyle Rayner at the time, I forget who, but having Kyle walk into his house to grab a ham sandwich out the fridge only to find his girlfriend's corpse is not tragic. It's comedic.
And just kind of like disturbing in terms of a standpoint.
It's super fucked up. And the fact that the villain who did it is a guy named Major Force. Like,
what's he called?
Major Force. He's basically just an evil Captain Atom.
I don't understand anything. He
is awful. Like, he's the worst.
It's like this. I guess Gwen Stacy's death kind of counts, but it was like the first time it was done, and it was done to like push this story into a more like mature level.
Yeah.
Stuff since then has been trying to replicate this and get the same reaction, and it hasn't.
Yeah, because like you can't just recapture this because this was the first time. Like, you're never gonna get that same shock again because this was the very first instance of it.
Yeah. So
like Wolverine killing his like seventh girlfriend by stabbing her in the gut. It's not going to get the same reaction from people as this.
Yeah,
it's just going to be. People are just going to look at that and go, "Oh, he did it again."
Damn, shit happens.
Yeah, it's like, oh well.
So, yeah. Do you think this whole decision was for the best in the long run? This can be a short answer because
I would say yes, because as I've made very clear at this point, Gwen is barely a character.
Oh yeah.
Like they did try to give her some stuff, but they would always just end up making it more annoying to write her for themselves. Like I mentioned George Stacy. We talked about George Stacy earlier. Like that was meant to give Gwen like more character, and it just made it more annoying to write her because she basically became a reverse Flash, where it's like she loves Peter but hates Spider-Man.
Reverse. Someone say she's the reverse.
Exactly. But yeah, it's like, and so then they just sent her away to England for a couple issues before deciding to kill her off.
And then we got to find out what happened in 2004. Patience. We gotta have patience.
I'm not saying nothing.
I'm mostly talking about myself. I gotta have patience. You've been good. I gotta commend you for that. But basically,
trust me, there were like 3 jokes I wanted to make, but I'm keeping it to myself for now.
So, I'm gonna say a hot take. After reading this, I think Gwen's death was executed much better in Amazing Spider-Man 2. On an emotional level.
Okay, emotional level, I can agree.
In terms of like context is an entirely different thing. Story context, it was all very dumb and rushed.
Yeah, but as an isolated moment, yes, that was definitely done way better in Amazing.
Because it was done here with like, and I chalked that up to the fact that like nothing like this ever happened before, so they didn't really know how to do it.
Yeah, it's like they didn't really. There was like, okay, she's dead. Let's move on. Let's go. We gotta do more stuff.
But like, I think the emotion of the moment was very well done in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it's because unlike this, where it happens at the halfway point, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
everything was leading to this, essentially. Like, everything... Ever since the first movie, it was...
Because every scene with Gwen in it, especially in Amazing Spider-Man 2, is she's gonna die. Just it's coming up.
Also, it hurts more because she's an actual character in those movies.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you do grow to like Emma Stone's Gwen.
She's an actual character, and she's a good character.
Yeah, her and Andrew Garfield had great chemistry together.
Yeah, and so, like, that's what made it, like, that's what genuinely made it hurt. And
and like, when I will admit, I didn't like that she hit the ground. I much prefer the Peter catches her but snaps her neck as like just to add to the tragedy kind of thing.
I feel like it was kind of hard to the snapping of the neck though, like the whiplash. I feel like that would have been hard to.
I think you could still pull.
Because if he had a sound effect of just could have risked being jarring and comical.
Yeah, but to me at least, she slams her back of the head on the ground before springing back up was pretty funny.
Okay, I gotta give that. Like, her head should be a mashed potato.
Yeah,
by that point.
Yeah, like there should be blood. Like,
well, she did get blood. She just had a bloody nose.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
her brains are leaking out the back of her head after that fall.
Yeah. Like, it's weird how much that scene was changed, like, so much. Because first, they were going to have Harry kill her on several different occasions.
Yeah.
Like, they were going to have Harry stab her. They were going to have Harry snap her neck.
Oh, jeez.
Like, they filmed several different versions of the scene. And, like, after the scene, like, the end of the scene was supposed to be Peter going back up and beating the shit out of Harry until he was nearly dead.
I would have really liked that, honestly, if they did that.
I kinda, but at the same time,
as like a catharsis thing.
As a catharsis, but also like I kind of feel like after all this time, they kind of made the right call cutting that because it would be the emotion of the scene.
Yeah.
Especially with the score playing in the background. It's just like,
yeah,
I
guess. Like, yeah, I guess I see what you mean. Like, it starts with like he's cradling her body and she's crying and is just traumatized, and then it goes straight to, and then he turns around and goes to beat the shit out of Harry. Like,
although I do wish we got to see that Andrew's Peter, like seeing him go. We have yet to see Peter go like full on berserk in a movie.
Yeah, and that annoys me because those are always some of my favorite moments. Where
those are very cathartic moments, and like I honestly feel like they might build up Tom's Peter doing it, and if they do that, that'll be like so cathartic because this whole time he hasn't really snapped.
Yeah, he's always been like a nice person, so it would be really cool to, especially I feel like it would be really interesting if Tom's Spider-Man really loses it, because up to this point he's probably been like the most cheerful Spider-Man in the movies we've ever had.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool if it would really help set the tone of shit's serious now if he finally loses it.
If Quentin Beck returns in the third movie,
I want that.
Like, and the thing is, he was nearly there at home when he whacked him in the face and did the "you can't trick me anymore" thing.
Yeah.
Like, he was so strong that he literally squeezed his wrist to the point that he had to drop the gun because he could not hold on to it.
Yeah, which that was so good.
He was inches from like being. I feel like that scene was directed by Watts to be like, okay, Tom, you want to beat the crap out of him so badly.
You want to kill this guy,
but you are holding back, and he holds back by going for the glasses. That's how he holds back. But I feel like if Quentin Beck returns in the third movie, which I'd love it if he does, return, then I'd love to see Peter just be like, "You ruined my life. I'm gonna kill you now."
Yeah, like that would be really good, especially with how Far From Home ends. That would, with Mysterio, literally he ruins his entire life. That would be really good.
And if somebody he's close to dies, my bet is on either Ned or Happy.
My money's on Ned.
I don't know if Marvel will go that far to kill a kid in one of their movies.
Maybe, but on screen, they haven't really done that. All the kid deaths have been off screen.
Yeah, so.
But at the same time, I feel like Ned needs to go. Because
for Peter to grow, yeah.
Not just that, but I always roll my eyes whenever people say MCU Spidey is just a white Miles, except whenever they bring up Ned, because he is straight up just ganky.
I always give them that. I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I feel like that was the biggest mistake that these movies made. They should have just gone
Randy Robertson.
Yeah, Randy. They should have just done that. Like, that would have been great. But instead, we just took Miles' best friend and gave him to Peter. And it's like, that was a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed Jacob Adlon, to be honest. I've enjoyed...
He has a good performance. It's just, your character is not who you say you are.
Yeah. It'll be either Ned or Happy, I think.
Yeah. Happy is definitely the other one who is likely, because I don't see them ever killing off Aunt May.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do that for a while.
Especially Marissa. I can't say the name.
Marissa Tomei.
Thank you. Yeah, especially not hers, because she's way younger and not like 97 who will keel over if you sneeze on her.
Yeah.
Like, especially Raimi Aunt May. No offense to the actress who played her, but she looked like she was about to fall over if you blew wind in her direction.
She's still alive.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her, but I don't know how.
Yeah, she really is Aunt May then.
Just always 90 and immortal.
Yeah, which fair enough. But yeah, it's like, and Sally Field she was ultimate Aunt May, so it's like she's fine.
Yeah.
Which I loved her in those movies, but
we were robbed of ever having Jamie Lee Curtis.
We were super robbed.
Ever since like I was a kid, I was like, and I read the Ultimate Comics, I was like, Jamie Lee Curtis would be perfect as this Aunt May.
Agreed. Like, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if she was one of the inspirations for Ultimate May.
She had to have been, 100%.
Like, I legit would not be shocked if Bendis said at any point that Jamie Lee Curtis was one of the inspirations for how he wrote Ultimate Aunt May.
Yeah, she would have been so good, but maybe
she really would have.
I don't know. If they didn't get Marissa Tomei, I wish they would have gotten Jamie Lee Curtis.
Same. Which Marissa Tomei, I don't hate her. I just wish she had more.
She was great in Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming was one of my favorite Aunt May scenes in any of these movies. Is in Homecoming, where after the ferry, Aunt May just tells Peter, "Cut the shit. Tell me what's going on."
Yeah, that was a very ultimate.
Yeah, that was an aunt. That was not a grandma.
Yeah.
Like that, I could see like half my aunts doing that shit with me. So
yeah,
that was good.
I hope they did not forget about that.
Yeah,
because I understand why they didn't do more with Far From Home because of Endgame and
there's already so much going on in that movie. There really isn't enough room.
But now that Spidey 3, it's not going to deal with fallout from anything. It's only dealing with the fallout of its own predecessor.
It should be a much more personal movie, and I really hope that means more scenes with Peter and May.
So they gotta show why May acted the way she especially given that concept art that showed that supposedly immediately after who he was, she would shoot paintballs at him to test his spider sense and test his strength, and
that's awesome. I want the scene from Shazam, but with Aunt May. Like, is the context that she's okay with this, or is she like making sure that he's safe?
Yeah,
like that. I would really like Aunt May training scenes. That's great. I want that concept.
I hope that Spidey 3 addresses this stuff. But anyway, I think that about wraps up everything. Long story short, Gwen Stacy's dead.
Yeah, and has been ever since. The only time she's ever been brought back were clones.
Until she returns as Kindred. Booyah. Anyway, so
man, if it turns out Kindred isn't Gwen and people go back and listen to these episodes, we're gonna look like
we're gonna be so. The episode we make on when Kindred's identity gets revealed is just gonna be us being like, "We're so sorry, everybody. We're so sorry.
we're sorry. Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry we unleashed Cthulhu."
Yeah. I don't watch South Park much these days, but that is still one of my favorite jokes. It's just the guy going sorry over and over again.
BP oil spill unleashes Cthulhu.
Yeah. And it's so fucking accurate where the guy just goes sorry over and over. And
did you ever see Deepwater Horizon that actually covered that event? That actually was about that event, the oil spill in 2010. Did you ever see that?
I don't think so.
It was good, but I'm just imagining what if at the end of the movie Cthulhu just comes out from a rift in the water?
That would have been great.
I would have loved that. Mark Wahlberg versus Cthulhu.
Oh my god. Well, he's busy trying to be in this never starting Uncharted movie.
Out of all people for Sully, why? I don't get it.
It's the worst casting. It's one of the worst castings I've ever seen in my life.
Bryan Cranston is right there. He's right there.
His hands are open. He's begging for the paycheck. Just give it to him. He's got the script in his hand. Do it.
He's well, at least it's not happening anymore because of coronavirus. Yeah. That's the one silver line.
Yeah, honestly, I really hope that movie just gets canceled.
It has to at this point.
Like, there's not. Who wants to see a movie about young Nathan Drake when Uncharted 3 and 4 already covered that ground?
Who knows? Who knows?
Like, there's nothing to talk about.
I mean, I'm partially like, I'd like to see what Tom Holland could do as a, but also like,
I don't think I'll be able to take him seriously as Nathan Drake.
Well, I mean, it depends on how he does in Cherry.
Yeah, like, I mean, even then, I'm just that's the problem I have with most actors in big movies like MCU or Star Wars, where whenever I see them in anything, I'm just like, oh, it's Spider-Man, or oh, it's Iron Man, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which my brain can't, like, differentiate, because it's like, I associate you way too much with this one thing.
That's the worst part about being an unknown actor as a big role, is that you're going to be that for.
Yeah.
Well, then again, that's not a bad thing. You're going to get checks, and you're going to get
you're more or less guaranteed a steady paycheck as long as these movies continue to do well,
and as long as people keep buying them, and as long as they keep airing on TV or whatever.
Yeah, which when it comes to Spider-Man and Star Wars, you're set for life.
Yeah, pretty much.
As long as Sony doesn't reboot, you're set for life as Spider-Man.
Yeah. But anyway, so that is all the time we got. Any last words for tonight, Brian? Oh.
You good?
Yeah, that was my arm rest thing.
Okay, I thought you got you were hitting like a bug or something.
No. My armrests in my new Epic Gamer chair are adjustable. They can go up.
I've just been pacing back and forth in my room.
That's a mood.
Yeah, I don't really have a good chair, so I just use my bed or walk around. But anyway, final word. Sin. That's all I got.
Timely.
Stay away from clones.
Stay away from people. Keep yourself indoors. Self-isolate. Wear a mask.
And if you can't buy a mask, go take an old
tie a t-shirt around your face and just stuff it into your shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or do what I did and just cut it up into a mask, because it's not like you're going to wear it anymore anyway.
Yeah. You can do that if you want to go. Or lazy like me, just
You're hardcore or just whatever.
Yeah. Wear a mask, wear gloves, don't leave unless you have to get food and water.
Yeah. Stay safe wherever you are, whatever you do. Especially if you're in like the medical field right now, God bless you.
Yeah. The government does. You guys do for this stuff. That is all I'm saying. You guys do not get paid enough for this stuff.
No.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, my name is Alec. You can at _the_smart_Alec on Twitter.
And I'm Brian. You can follow me at Red Reviews on Twitter.
If you want to follow our podcast, you can go to podcast. If you want to follow on Comics Ground. Oh, sorry, you blew on the mic a bit.
Oh, sorry.
You can. If you want to follow on Comics Ground on Twitter, Comics Ground. And if you go to our website, we post daily reviews, news. So, once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next episode. We'll catch you guys in the next web. I keep forgetting that's our outro. We'll catch you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next web. Bye.
Bye.